Bookaholics, this is Isabel and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about all of my favorite friendships in books. So this video is part of my Book of Love series, which is all about romance. But Valentine's Day is not just for lovers, although that is mainly what it's promoted as, but it's also just celebrating love, whether that's romantic love, friendship love, family love, or whatever kind of love. It's not just about romantic love, it can also be platonic. And so I wanted to talk about my favorite friendships that are in books, and I'm really excited to talk about them because a lot of books focus more on the romantic, but when a book focuses on the friendship, I think those are usually more powerful because friendship is kind of what everyone needs. Not everyone needs romantic stuff, but everyone needs kind of like companionship and friends and stuff. So I think that's an important one to focus on in this series. So I'm really excited to talk about them with you guys. So let's just get right into it. The first friendships I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to get them out of the way because they're probably in everyone's favorite friendship videos, and that's the Golden Trio from Harry Potter. So Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, and Hermione Granger. These three, do I really need to talk about them? Because everyone knows they have like the best friendships. Throughout the whole books, they are always loyal to each other. They're willing to go through hell with them. They're willing to risk their lives for each other, and they're just so it's just a wonderful friendship because they all bring something to the group, you know. Harry Potter is I don't know what he brings to the group, honestly. He kind of brings the broodiness to the group, but he also brings like all of the challenges that they have to overcome. Like, that's what his deal is. Hermione is the smarts, and Ron is the carefree, jokey one who kind of lightens up his two friends when they get a little too serious. He's like the ones that keep everyone sane, you know? So he's like the most important. Otherwise, Harry Potter would be way too brooding and Hermione would be way too into her books. So they're all important and they all bring something to the group and they just work together. Honestly, they're just the perfect group, perfect friendships, and I love them. So I couldn't have this video without including this group in there. The next friendship I want to talk about is Cat and Meg from Cat and Meg Conquer the World. This one I really wanted to include because it was one of the first books in YA that I read in a while that didn't have a focus on romance but had a focus on friendship, and friendship between girls specifically. That is not a focus really in YA, unfortunately. It's starting to change, but before there was really no focus on women friendships, girl friendships, and this one was just a eye-opener and just refreshing, and I really loved it, especially because this book doesn't have much romance in it, but the little bit it does, the romance is not the point of the plot. It's the fact that her friend is there for her after it falls apart, and that is just like such a wonderful thing because whether you have relationships, you always have your friends in your corner all the time. So like that's the most important part of it. So I really love that aspect of it, just like the focus on the friendship and the focus that whether you're hurt, your friends will always be there for you. So don't forget that. The next friendship I want to talk about is Aled and Francis from Radio Silence. So this one I especially love because it's a friendship between a girl and a boy, and there's absolutely no romance between them at all, which I love because we need more of that. We need more platonic love between men and women in books. I really like that about this book. It was such a refreshing kind of take, and it really did focus on the friendship in this book. It didn't focus on romance, it didn't focus on romantic challenges, it focused on the friendship, and it focused on your future. It focused on figuring out what you want to do later on in life, figuring out what you want to do after high school is done, university or not doing university, and I really appreciated that in this book, and I really appreciated the friendship between Aled and Francis because they just really helped each other. Francis is very gung-ho on like being perfect, being head girl, getting the great grades, getting into her university that she wants, like doing everything to a T, while Aled is very sensitive and shy and not really outgoing. They just kind of really helped each other in this, and I so much love that. The next friendship on here, which might be a little surprise because they're not really friends, but like they could be. Like they could be the best of friends, and they could dominate if they like actually, you know, joined up together. And that's Eli and Victor from Vicious. So this book starts with them being roommates and them like hanging out all the time and them being friends and like best friends. And then when they start dabbling in this stuff that maybe they shouldn't, Eli becomes very jealous and very greedy, while Victor kind of gets betrayed by Eli, and like they become like enemies. But honestly, they could be the best of friends and they could dominate. Honestly, if they like stayed friends and like didn't betray each other and weren't power hungry, they could be the best of friends and they could take over the world, like honestly. So it's kind of like a missed opportunity that would just be enjoyable for me to read. The next one on this list is Wanda and Mel from The Host. If you have not read The Host, this one follows a world where aliens have pretty much taken over the world. They get like inserted into the humans and they like take over their minds and take over the bodies, and then the human isn't actually there anymore. So this one follows Wanderer, who is placed into Melanie, but when Wanderer is trying to take over Melanie's body, it doesn't actually happen and Melanie is still there and trying to get her body back. So it just follows as they go from being like great enemies living in the same body to becoming best friends. So like it's just a wonderful story about humanity and friendship and love. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one and they just become the best of friends. The next friendship I have on here is August and Jack Will from Wonder. So I wanted to include these two in here because I think their friendship was one of the most genuine, especially in like middle school, because like when you're in school you can make friends like the easiest way, especially like elementary and middle school. August has a hard time because he has a facial disfigurement, so therefore there are the jerks in the school who will bully him. So we have August here who has like really no friends, has a hard time connecting with people, and people avoid him because of his disfigurement. And then we have Jack Will, who is in kind of the popular group, but when he sees August and he is encouraged to become friends with him, he starts to realize that, you know what, August is actually pretty cool. And it just follows in this story where friendship is hard, especially in middle school, and especially when there is the popularity group, there is the bullies, and there's just like the hierarchy that comes in. But there's also where you want to actually make friends that you actually enjoy hanging out with, and Jack Will finds that in August, and I really love this book. I cried when I read it, and I think this one is so important for people to read, especially kids. This is just such a great book of acceptance and friendship and love, honestly. Like it's just perfect. And then the last friendship on here that I had to include in this is Sam and Frodo from The Lord of the Rings. The friendship between Sam and Frodo in here is so genuine and so like wonderful to watch because Sam is just so loyal to Frodo. Like in this whole journey of Frodo trying to bring the ring to Mordor, Sam is with him all the way. Like he tries to protect Frodo, he is there for him whenever he needs him, and even when they get to a point where Frodo is thinking Sam is betraying him, Sam sticks by his side and is genuinely sad when he thinks Frodo died, and like instantly forgives Frodo for anything that he's done, and Sam is just willing to be there with Frodo because he loves him. I honestly feel like they may be gay for each other, but in canon they're not, so they definitely love each other in a platonic way. So I definitely want to include them in here because I think their friendship is just so wonderful to read. Alright, so that is the last friendship I have on this list today. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!